Hello everyone, this is Fantastic Worlds, looking back to the Lovecraft country and the secret world Lorehunter, so to speak. Lorehunter is a potential series I want to do to try to track down the lore nuggets of the game and to provide a more complete story rather than the scattershot that I've been doing so far. So, today's going to kind of be a compromise though. I'm about to do the Dreaming War, but if you remember there's a previous mission given to me by Red that I never completed, which is looking up the standing stones that the Norsemen left behind after they helped defeat the darkness, helped the Wakanabe defeat the darkness way back before the Europeans ever arrived, back in the time of the Mayans. So, I'm going to be running through that mission, and as an aside, I'm also going to be showing you where the stones are, so you can, including coordinates, which will be down there on the right. So, I'm hoping that, this is the sort of thing that you guys want to see, but for the moment, let's begin. Okay, just about due east of the military camp on the Blue Mountains area of the map, by this scenic meadow, lovely view by the way, is the first menhir. Now, this standing stone was erected by the Norse when they arrived to help the Wakanabe defend whatever powers within the island itself that is so desperately wanted by both the Dreamers, the Illuminati. Now, the area, each menhir has these little green lights resembling bees, as well as these flowers indicating this area is probably a natural animal well. Now, they're also guarded by, as you can see, the undead corpses of the Wakanabe and possibly the Norse, but I'm currently overleveled enough that it's not an issue. So, let's examine the first stone and see what we can find. Okay. Now, Hunin. You know your Norse mythology, you know who these two are. Hunin and Munan. This is thought and memory. These are the heralds of Odin, which go about the world and collect it. Now, as you can see here, this is the first runes have a message, but our character is the result of American public education, so we're not going to be able to read it. However, I'm pretty sure that Odin's ravens could probably do so.
Thought comes before memory, but memory recalls the path. I'm thought, he's memory. You can have that one for free.
Well, okay, you always begin with memory, and memory leads to thought, because what you know leads to what you can conceive of as anew.
We laid our blades upon this far shore, exhausted, only to lift them against worshippers of the dark sun. We carved this story in stone, where it waits still to be read.
Okay, so, gods, guys, keep it down. Oh, excuse me. Anyways, so yeah, this is part one of the story, in which the Norse arrived after a long trip across the ocean, and there is actually evidence that the Norse did visit the New England and Nova Scotia area long before the other Europeans arrived, in order to help them defend against the Dreamers' minions who are attempting to breach whatever's held here. Now, pop over to the next one. So here's the second runestone. Now, this is located just west of the Franklin Museum, and I've cleared out the zombies a bit so be quieter. Now, as you can see, once again, we have these runes, so let's summon the translator. And hey, there you guys are. Now, of course, memory first. Oh, wait. I guess your memory. My apologies.
Memory is a servant of those who prove worthy of thought. Hint, hint.
Okay, don't get obvious about it. I understand it in the wrong order here.
From our frozen birthland, we crossed the white-capped sea to green isles of endless rain. This too we carved in stone.
I don't know whether they're referring to Greenland or Solomon Island, but I guess we'll find out next. Anyways, so, popping over to the next rune. Now, the third one is located to the southwest and from the CDC camp with Marilyn Chen, and just west of the Moonbog. So it's a bit of a gloomy spot, although it's got a fantastic view, or would be a fantastic view if we weren't dealing with the apocalypse. There's the Moonbog down there. So maybe not so great a view. Anyways, here's the runes. Let's summon the translators. All right, Unin. Let's get your lore, shall we?
The wise man once asked of a king, who is the great one who grasps the earth, swallowing wood and water? Bad weather he dreads, wind but no man, and picks a fight with the sun.
Okay, riddles. Riddles are in fact an important part of Norse mythology and culture back then, and proved cleverness. I suppose it's a way to compete without hacking each other's limbs off. But anyways, he wants to know the answer, and the answer, of course, is fog, which devours the sun, fears no man, and harsh weather will blow before it.
We carried a sword out from the lands of rain and gave thanks to the gods. All must pass before the gods.
All must pass before the gods. Now, the thing is, the Isle of Rain. Okay. The weapon we have here is Excalibur. That's actually been leaked by previous lore. I'm not sure if it was during the recording part, but I do know it now. Which means they took the sword from England, which means it actually is the sword that's associated with King Arthur, ended up with the Norsemen, and came here, which means that this is probably the weapon that Beaumont has. Great, so Beaumont's running around with Excalibur, which I'm guessing the Lady of Lake didn't lend him, so which means that that part of the legend doesn't work, at least. I think. The problem is, between this and Assassin's Creed, you're never sure how they're going to interpret mythology. Anyways, over to the next one. Okay, this one right here, the next stone, is actually located within sight of the Orochi camp. It's on the ridge overlooking it to the, we'll call this... we'll just call it almost due west. West by southwest. But as you can see, this one is out on the narrow point here and doesn't have any zombie guardians, which at least is going to make things less noisy. So, let's summon the translators. I know, I'm not going to complain about the speed at which these guys move, because they're probably millennial old by this point. And, you know, you gotta appreciate when the elderly can be this active. Munin. Wait, so let's talk to human, right? Sometimes my board just does not like me.
The same wise man asked the king, what beast is that which defends fighters? It bears a bloody back, but men it saves, meets spears, gives life to some, and lays itself inside a soldier's palm.
I think I got that one. Yeah, that's a shield. It obviously defends life, is held in a palm or a hand, and has a bloody back. I guess that might be because it can rub the back of your arm raw if you're holding it, but here we go.
In our longships, we sighted where the dawn people and sun worshippers warred. We joined them, a hail of arrows sent before us to mark the path.
It looks like they got here just in time. Well, so they grabbed the sword from King Arthur's barrow, drag it over here, and then begin attacking during the middle of a battle between the Watanabe and the Dawn Worshippers, which of course are... The sun seems to be related to the Dreamers somehow, the Sun Worshippers. I mean, even the Morning Light is, refers to that. So, I guess that must have been their champions back in the original attempt at the apocalypse, the less successful one than this one. Anyways, alright, popping over the next one. So here we are at the next one. Now, as the next one was close to Akab, breeding grounds, this one was right on top of it, because we are, as you can see, the just east of the authentic Watanabe village, surrounded by Watanabe dead and the Akab breeding grounds over there. You can even see in the distance there the casino pits. But let's get to let's turn off my static, shall we? Let's get to summoning the birds, because I don't want to stay here a moment longer than I have to. Alright. Talk to me, memory.
Wise man king, you know the drill. The mind whacker, the word thwatter, the word upriser.
Yeah, apparently even he's getting bored of the riddles. And after 1,000 years, he just wants some new material. That would be ale. Mind whacker, word twister, yeah, that's ale.
They did not know Luke had walked among them. As he walks today, he fought at their side, but he is a trickster. Guided only by the rivalry of his brother, let the thunder god also guide you.
So that's confirmation if you didn't already know who Beaumont is, he is Loki. No Tom Hiddleston, mind you, but apparently he decided to switch sides for the Dreamers, or he's in it for himself, but he seems to have decided that now, in 2012, he's going to break open the seals. So at least we got something out of this other than a profound sense of history. So, like I said, I don't want to linger here, so next stone. Okay, this stone's actually not too far away. You can literally almost see the stone over there. It's just to the... Excuse me, dude. I'm talking here. Thank you. It's just to the... Let's see... south of the authentic village, the Wakanabe authentic village, the worthless tourist trap, as it were. But, so, let's get this one over with. Come on. Come on, birdies. Oh, not even bothering flying in now? You're just teleporting in? You're showing off, dude.
The wise man asked, four hang, four sprang, 2 point that way to ward off dogs. One dangles after and is always rather dirty.
Now, because this is a multiple choice test, you can obviously tell which one it is, but you can see 4-legged, 2 horns, and a dirty tail. Yeah, that's a cow. You have to remember something, is that cow was wealth back then, because not only was it milk, it was beef. And, you know, you can... If you're in a pretty cold environment, meat is what you're going to be eating for the most part.
The game was done, this battle won. They had earned the wealth which was their reward, and only one place remained for them to go.
That would be home, right? Right, guys? They made it home and had happily ever after? Please? Anyways, last stone coming up. And here we are, the last stone, in the appropriately titled Ash Forest. The one, well, that deserves that music, that's for sure. The Ash Forest is just south of the Wakanabe village and north of the military camp. It's also one of the Sarge's missions will take you here, and it's, yeah, over there where the supply drop failed. But it's probably one of the least pleasant parts on this island, and I'm sure that doesn't reflect on the ending of the story, right? Okay, hit me with it, Hunan. How's the story end?
Have you guessed? The wise man was the All-Father, the Wednesday man, the Raven God. In his honey dreaming, we shall carry him these new thoughts, these new memories.
Now, what's interesting is that honey, referring, of course, to the honey sort of motif that comes across all Gaia's minions, like me. But the thing is that honey was important to the Norse as well, as it was another form of nutrition. It's how they got their meat as well. So, in those days, God, the background music. In those days, alcoholic drinks and the effect they produced was considered magic. So therefore, honey was part of their magic as well. But yes, if it's Loki was the in the tale, and so Odin must be. Now Thor isn't mentioned, but he says that he feared his brother's power, which means if I fight Beaumont, will lightning be the most effective attack? I don't know. I mean, I actually have my power. The lightning bolt when I draw down is named after Mjolnir, Thor's hammer. So that'll be interesting to experiment with when we finally face off. But let's get the end of the tale.
In time, they made to return to the land of snow, only to be taken by the sea where the Draugr drowned. This Loken knew, so he did not sail. South he went to find the secrets of the Dark Sun.
Okay. Well, first of all, let's get Kirsten's view on this. 1,000 years ago, I can barely remember what happened last night. Ugh. So many questions right now. Look, I don't care who hails from what myth. I'm interested in contemporary manifestations and topic of interest. You know who has made no secret. Now, there's interesting. She doesn't mention Loki's name because it's often been said to speak a god's name can get his attention, and we do not want Beaumont to have attention to what we're doing. Anyways, you know who has made no secret of his obsession with Solomon Island. He still thinks he can control whatever's in that mountain. Points for ambition. We placed him there in 1666, 1712, 1876, and 1959. You want to place him there a bit earlier? Go ahead. KG. Fun fact, we're still waiting on that sword. So, yeah. This is what it comes down to. Now, I'm going to go to someplace a little less noisy for the last recap, so hang on. Okay then, so back where we began, a little more peaceful in the moonlight than a hell-haunted forest, but one of the few safe spots that are left in this island. Now, as I was going to say earlier, we now have an idea of what happened. The Norse got Excalibur from King Arthur's burrow, came here, used its power in order to be able to defeat the Dark Sun worshippers, but when they returned, they got sucked into the Red Sargasso Sea, the one that Joe Slater, if you recall, referred to, the one that sucked into Larry Margaret, where Joe took the sword and came back here, luring them back, and Beaumont take the sword from Joe. Now he's got that, which he refers to as the key to the lock, whatever power's in here. So, photobomb there. So, this is where we are now. Beaumont has been trying constantly to get both the sword and the location of the lock, as it were, for the power within. He is Loki, but he's also the last survivor of the Pantheon. In fact, he calls himself a god, but he hasn't really shown any power that any other magician or sorcerer has shown. So I think he's been depowered, because gods usually have a concept, a portfolio, some power they represent, and Loki no longer does. He's just another individual, another immortal, who just wants more and more power. Now, I've kind of compared what the dreamers do, like, as in to humans who they can infect as indoctrination. Now, the thing is that I think Loki is indoctrinated like the elusive man in Saren was in Mass Effects. They think they're doing this for their own power, but it's really the dreamers infecting them, making them want to release them. It's insidious. And, well, I hope probably it's handled better here than it was at the end of Mass Effect 3. But in any case, now, for the next mission, we'll be getting into the dungeon called the Darkness War, which will be a replication of what happened during the invasion. Sort of a guided dream, as it were. But that'll be the next episode, so I will see you then. So this is Fantastic Worlds, bidding you farewell from Lovecraft Country and the Secret World Legends.
You will see the dawning of a new age. To be a monarch or a beggar. To lose everything or to become a god. To stand with us or against us. The choice is yours.